right. Sonny.
Thank you.
Hi.
It's one on Ukraine aid. Speaker Johnson said last week that, quote, there is a big distinction in the minds of a lot of people, referring to members in this conference, between lethal aid for Ukraine and the humanitarian component. Now, I know the White House's preference is obviously to get the Senate package passed by the House, but is there any consideration in the White House to just focus on delivering lethal aid to Ukraine if that's what can get a majority in the House?
I mean, look, the National Security Supplemental, as it is, could get a majority in the House. That's what we know. We understand that to be true. It can get overwhelming support, which means it includes Republicans as well as Democrats, if it just got put to the floor. I think what's happening is the Speaker's giving an excuse that is not warranted, that is not needed, because we know that if he were to put it on the floor, it would get through. And so that's why I'm not even going to really dive into that question, because he's bypassing what we understand, right? 70-29 coming out of the Senate. That's a overwhelming bipartisan majority in the Senate. And we know, we're hearing from Republicans in the House, we know where majority of Democrats stand, that if he were to put it on the floor, it would get support. So that is the facts. That is how we see it. We would encourage and continue to encourage Speaker Johnson to put that bill on the floor.
And Chairman McCall was on the shows yesterday talking about how the Speaker has made it clear that he would move on this after the Easter break. And does the White House have any specific commitments from Speaker Johnson on moving on Ukraine aid in whatever iteration?
So I can't speak to commitments. What I can speak to agreements, right, from even when the Big Four met with the president not too long ago, earlier this year, that the understanding that we needed to move forward with this aid for Ukraine. We need to move forward with the National Security Supplemental. That was an understanding among them. They agreed with the president and the vice president. And so that's what we want to see. I can't speak to their timeline. We want this to happen right away, right away. We originally put this forward back in October of last year. And so there's a need. We see what's happening, as we were talking about Ukraine specifically in your first question to me. We see what's happening in Ukraine. They're losing ground on the battlefield. And that is partly because why Russia's been even more aggressive is because of the inaction of Congress. And that's what we see. That's what the CIA director told the Big Four not too long ago, right here in the White House. So they need to move forward. It is about our national security, just as we're talking about aid to Ukraine, but it is also about our own national security. It's all connected here. Okay.